a remote valley in northern Kenya, two young Pokot men, Lomale and Shokon, are about to go through the most important ceremony of their lives, their initiation into manhood. But it will take more than spearing a camel to make it through. They'll have to face being smeared with the contents of the camel's stomach. And listen to a soothsayer's prediction about their future. If all goes well, they may earn the right to wear the white feathers and blue skull cap of Pokot manhood. This film is more than just a story about initiation. It's a rare glance into the mysterious world of Pokot traditions, never seen by the outside world before. Pokot people live in Kenya, East Africa, in a vast territory. It's a hostile region plagued by tribal conflict and fierce cattle raiding. As pastoralists, they depend entirely on their cattle for survival. For Pokot, a life without cattle is almost unbearable. 21-year-old Lomale is poor. His family's cattle were raided 3 years ago, and he's hoping his Sapana ceremony will turn his luck around. 19-year-old Shokon is wealthy. His father has a large herd, and he will inherit his share if he makes it through his initiation. Lomale and Shokon's ceremony is just 3 weeks away, and they both must be ready. Neither wants to let themselves or their families down. At dawn the next day, Shokon's father, 70-year-old Kangole, is up early to inspect his cattle for ticks. His sons are just waking up. They've spent the night outside guarding the cattle, as all Pokot boys do until they're married. Shokon watches his father. He would like to be just like him. Kangole has it all: 4 wives and 17 children. This is wife number 3. She's out to fetch water. Wife number 1, Shokon's mother, is bringing in wood. The wives get on with their morning routines. Each has her own home and goats to tend. Kangole moves around from home to home. Chepasip is married to one of Kangole's eldest sons. Her house is based at Kangole's homestead. It's the best location in the valley, a sort of Beverly Hills of the Pokot, and safe from raiders. Kangole is what every Pokot man aspires to be: rich in wives, cattle and children. His is a happy homestead. 10 kilometers away, on a rocky hillside, Lomale's family is struggling to survive. They lost their cattle to heavily armed raiders, and shortly after, Lomale's father died, leaving the entire family destitute. His mother, Chepganacha, runs the family homestead with the help of the older son's wives.
cho mình đấy nữa. Nó lên muốn đánh. Ngã quá thì em suri. Tôi chưa muốn nó cái kéo hoa.
Sao là rumo kinde mua đi như này nhau chắc là
cái tè tani. Nó cái nhà có con này nhiều tao cũng có. Cứ mẹ cái pon để cái belot. Ta mẹ ta banana.
Đâm một lúa nhà banana.
Qua mẹ ta cái mình như
tôm đi thủ nè sải.
Ông biết chứ cái mẹ ta tan.
Ile tay. Atau mai tôm nhà cái cái lia cái tanya như thế.
Mà mình làm tanya ta cái.
Lu sama le jual tanya cái nhiên.
Ini ya cái số tanya. Chỉ vô cái món này mà. Cả cam nó có cây cam mà quẹt chứ bắt kẹt.
Kamu
Quá quẹt.
Nó cái gì à?
Cái người lên này món tanya.
The family used to be wealthy in cattle, respectable and secure. Today they can't even afford to give Lo Malay his Sapana ceremony. Luckily, close family friend Chief Joshua has stepped in to sponsor Lo Malay's initiation. This is good news for Lo Malay. Chief Joshua also lost his cattle during the big raid and was left with just one cow. Lo Malay has taken care of this cow for 3 years. After his Sapana ceremony, Lo Malay will build his family's cattle wealth back by careful breeding and management, so they won't ever go hungry again. The next day, Lo Malay finds his benefactor, Chief Joshua, at a neighbour's homestead. They discuss the preparations for the Sapana ceremony. Lo Malay has been given his Sapana camel by Chief Joshua. Now his best friend Julius helps him get ready. In the afternoon, clouds start to build. The long rainy season is about to begin. Lo Malay, Julius and Shokon are at Lo Malay's homestead.
Teuli muru kain baga kai. Manganya ka tambi anak okai baga udah tidak dam. Begini sih bawa guru. Oh beli chicken skor kok gue ini pada kaget. Oh puri aja yang menunggu.
Malaya nih ya. Micin anu met. Kau. Kemicin ya una.
Tuh.
Ni tuh. Malaya nih ya. Piconong kita. Kalian tangga kona. Ini dia.
Lalu tahun.
Udah nyapa metu. Nyaga tuh ke Singapura. Bininya. Malaya nih ya. Piconong kamu ada giling. Nyata. Wale.
The three nomad boys are camped nearby with their family's cattle herd. Their living is pure pastoralist nomads, depending entirely on their cows for survival. Lomalay, Shokon and Julius are arriving in the middle of the boys' evening routine. It's a mad dash to collect as much cow urine as they can. They catch cow urine twice a day, in the morning and in the evening, so that they can wash their dishes. Urine is the closest thing to soap they have. It's a traditional way to sterilize. The boys arrived here several weeks ago. Their own homestead is 50 kilometers away. They've been herding as nomads for months and are entirely responsible for their family's cattle. Kayai is 12 years old. He's in charge of milking. His older brother, Umgetich, is 14, and he runs the show. Kakwo is only 7. His job is to let the calves out for milking, one at a time. This is a common way for Pokot boys to grow up, as they follow rain and good grazing, herding their family's cattle. Lomalay knows this life well. It's exactly what he was doing when his family's 80 head of cattle were raided from him 3 years ago. That's why Lomalay and Julius are concerned about the boys. They want to tell them what's going on in the area. There's been a recent raid.
Ngonyu arai ni ya nyunguni kepeta kenya mpaka nya wala kalme kwa ina ponga lalwa nanyo ibadira ibajeptumi
Ilma jabadran lagi papa ulebi bagi loni bagi pan bagi doimeran maglima jani nyaren ngi peta
uyong nya wen aya kikini ketogyo ngelo poy aya malaya nya nganyo ni yo wen yuru da tan
It's getting late, and it's time for the boys' drink of milk. This is all they get every day, twice a day, but sometimes they'll mix in cow's blood.
Jaron mi ya to ko wan bod na bagen
Có cái
ka ko ai
cái nhớ tiền nữa
toye te liu ta nya liu ga ta ngi se pusar ngata ai jila ni te da nya ga dali ya dali pe ngale nda ko dingale manda dali pe ngani dale ta liu ga ta ngi lu kamai a ropan jila nde ni bi ko nde.
They're used to sleeping under the stars, with only a goat hide for a blanket. But with the rains coming, a makeshift tent over a bed of rocks is the only shelter they'll have. A week later, a meeting is held at Shokon's homestead. His father, Kangolay, is taking charge.
Ini kwa so ni nyu. Ini kiri yomo. Ini nyu kiri yomai. Kopi mjanyu lenyo ni.
Kimita. Tu itu nyu kurele nyu poi nyu kapanyo pira pai ngombe ko kon de mesnyu.
Both families will share in the burden of preparing millet and honey beer for their guests. Shokon is relieved. He may be the wealthy one, but he needs his family support.
Enggak nyoni bagi kunan cemangan yang raga batu lebih ceman paponya oh yo nyo mau ke jolak ke mau lo jam gue nuan ki nyanyi ke kumeran megan wan ya ba megan nya megan nya ba mukulu punya lo sama keluarga sih ba punya kuasa ba punya keluarga mau ke ceman nyanyi megan wan nyanyi.
Later that afternoon, Shokon and his brothers have to catch one of the family cows. It's going blind and needs treatment. Shokon's brother sucks ticks out of its eyes. This is the gentlest way to clean such a sensitive area. The Pokot have their own animal husbandry techniques. For this cow, they use tobacco and ash to medicate its eyes. This medicine has been used by them for centuries. Young men like Shokon learn these skills from their fathers and brothers. One day soon, he'll be managing his own herd of cattle. The next day, Shokon finds his mother at her grain store. He wants to see her alone. He has something he wants to tell her. He's expecting this kind of reaction.
Ai nhớ đưa bên sắp bà phơi nhớ ngồi chỉ bà phơi nhớ bà phơi bà cắm nhớ nu gari lắm mấy chàng có bồi vô nữa mà cái nhà chinh đa pe ngay nhà như bố muốn người cha bố na pe ngay đó cái gì chỉ chạy như muốn người ba tới như vậy ngay gari mấy chàng như cô đi rồi một cái này như lên như thế nào mua như liều to cái chả cái tung của nhóm mình mà cha như bà chứ nhiều đi mà nhớ quên cái ba phơi như đi mà nhớ quên
cái mít to nó như bà nhà nào nó như lakini juga mela katanya nanya ko maralasi nako to mugulugulasi.
The rest of the women from Congolese homestead come home early from a dance being held next door. They need to check on their millet grain and grind it into flour, all part of the process in making the millet beer for Shokon's ceremony. Once the flour is ready, they can gossip about the dance. Their favorite subject? Relationships.
Ina perkini warina, kama kacamnya warina kengalonji, cebu, lo tidak perkini cebu, kamu nyuwera itu sama cebu, Aku nggak percaya nyerah. Kalau punya batu ni tu kalau kau ni ngalau ngalonji nak le, amamin yang mukul lagi abu.
Jangan nate. Area leci mukul.
Kalau punya ni. Agak lebih ada kan ni nak tunduk kerami. Tahu tu apa ini?
Amanya katanya gimun enggak kopot katanya ganyu gipkor
kecangi ini apa tadi katanya ini tanya apa mana Johnny apa kormu tu ini tanya apa Johnny malal tu ada tanya apa baru Johnny ketemu Johnny pakai Johnny lakau
Aku nampak punya harapan.
ada barat
kau lagi
Kalau terang lagi nak beli cina kianan.
Nang ko apunya.
Yo nyangko apunya tinggal kukunan ini harapan.
Ya teror.
koror ket nama itu
Memang ah.
But the women have their own ideas about marriage.
Agak cam gumbo lo, tina kacam mukulo punya le, nyete nyole nyom macam le, cuma keban. Kemen dong, kita nak macam mending ye kya nga, anda mending. Kalau tu kacam kisah ngejala cuma keban dia ni ni keban.
kau tina kata itu sangat jangan kapsa
Pokot culture does have strict rules. But in the end, parents do want their daughters and sons to be happy. A week later, the men of the valley gather together to help a sick man. Congolais leads the Kikatat ceremony.
Hey! Come in,
70-year-old Ngirotang must now sacrifice the goat. The goat will carry his illness to the west, where the sun sets and all dark things live.
Mungkin ni nyara saya tak ramai loh.
Saya aman ya.
Kita liru.
Yang mana? Nang de bal kerja jadi. Entah kita kisah pun lagi jadi. Yang boleh kita kan jadi yang boleh kita kong raja jadi. Kita semua itu komunikasi sab jadi.
Terus
Tanya kerumah.
terus tahu sama kaki. Banyak itu lah pakai jenggen je. Terus kaki pel orang. Terus kaki pel orang.
Lomala and Shokon have played their part, but can only be helpers and spectators after this point. Only men who've had their sapana can continue with the ceremony and join the sacred Kirket circle. Lomala and Shokon now watch from the sidelines as their elders have a meeting. The Kirket Circle is a place to share news and voice community concerns. All of the goat, even the testicles, will be eaten. Everyone will get a share of meat according to their rank in the community. The ceremony is almost over, and Nguratang receives his final blessings. Nguratang takes his goat head home to cook and share with his wife. Now, only time will tell if the ceremony has healed his eye infection. Later in the day, at Lo Malay's homestead, his family pays a visit to their brewing den to test the Sapana honey beer. Lo Malay brings more rotin to help the honey brew ferment into a powerful party drink. There's still many chores left to be done and more distractions to avoid on the way. The family camels have been in the care of a grandchild, who now tells everyone that a camel is missing. Lo Malay's camel from Chief Joshua has run away. His ceremony is less than a week away, and without his camel, Lo Malay's Sapana could be a complete disaster. The next day, Lo Malay is out searching for his camel. A little like finding a needle in a haystack. Camels can travel great distances in very little time. This is a difficult situation for Lo Malay. It brings back memories of the worst day of his life.
Aku sa kumna moja. Ga guto te ya ba ke tur le ti. Ka krang ti ju. Ele agi tom so kratian ma kratian ni. Atta tan no gido. Magel ga ke lagi ma me yo te lagi ma me yo toy. Kita ge nyor jona mage ko ni bi den na tu ni na. Agi mi yo tengu. Ai, ata gru ya no pa ya sang ko ye. Ata bi ga jane jo gumi da ta wal magi je se bi ga jane mis. Gi so ba ne bi ga jane mis. If he doesn't find his camel, it could be the worst thing that's happened to him yet. In the meantime, Lo Malay's best friend Julius drops in to deliver the elder's message to the nomad boys.
He's been worried about them sleeping out in the rain. They're preparing to bleed a cow, and Julius offers to help. Pastoralists, like the Pokot, have always relied on their animals for survival. If they take good care of their cattle, they're rewarded with milk and blood, both nutritious enough to live on. Julius tells them that they must obey the elders' grazing rules. The boys can now settle down to a bowl of milk and blood for supper, and Julius doesn't have to worry about them anymore. It's 2 days before the ceremony, and Lomalay continues to search for his lost Sapana camel, while everyone at Shokon's homestead is getting ready. Shokon's father, Kangolay, is making himself a new chuma paret. All Pokot men carry this wooden stool and use it as a seat and headrest. It's important for him to look his best for the ceremony. He's an important elder in the community. Although Kangolay is very wealthy, he hopes Shokon will get through his initiation without any problems. It could be expensive if Shokon makes mistakes. Lomalay's mother, Chep Ganashar, is worried. She can't bear for anything else to go wrong. Everything is ready for the ceremony, and all she can do is wait and hope that Lomalay will find his camel in time. Early the next morning, Lomalay is running out of time. If he doesn't find his camel today, he'll have to sacrifice a goat instead. It would be hugely degrading for him, as a goat is a minor animal and lacking in status. Lomalay's Sapana ceremony has to go well tomorrow. His family needs him to succeed, so that they can reclaim their dignity and self-respect in the community. Later in the day, at Shokon's homestead, the young women are dressing up. They coat their collar necklaces in fat and red ochre, so they'll shine for Shokon's big day. The celebrations will start in just a few hours. Guests are already arriving to spend the night. Up at Lomalay's, the dancing has already begun. Lomalay has found his camel. To celebrate, his guests sing the camel song.
Ini bakau. Ay, magangara tayo yung bolo. Kibure los begina. Kibotine. Kigisiaboy.
Tomorrow at dawn, his Sapana ceremony begins. For now, he can relax with his friends. He's one step closer to becoming a man. Dawn and the skies have opened. Lomalay herds his camel to the sacred clearing where the sapana will be held. He's about to perform the first and most important ritual of the day. He must kill it with one thrust to the heart. The moment of truth has arrived. Lomalay waits. But his camel doesn't fall. He has hit it in the shoulder. This time he has to get it right. He's done it. His camel is dead, but Lomalay knows he has made a mistake by spearing it twice. This could mean bad luck for him and his family. It's Shokon's turn. His camel falls after the first thrust of the spear. Shokon waits. He's done it. He's killed his camel with one strike. Now the elders sing praise. In the meantime, Lomalay speaks to his best friend, Julius. Lomalay will most likely have to kill a goat to cleanse the bad luck. First, the elders want to read his camel's intestines. All Lomalay can do now is sit and wait for his fate to be revealed. Julius blows the kontu horn to announce the reading. The soothsayers are looking for signs they can read and interpret. Lomalay looks on. The eldest brother is called. Things couldn't be much worse for Lomalay and his family. Not only did they have to try and cleanse his mistake and death prediction, they'll have to kill a precious goat to do so. A goat they can ill afford to lose. Because their cattle are so precious to them, the Pokot believe an animal sacrifice will alter life events. Goat sacrifices are used for cleansing. The intestines will tell the outcome. Lomalay's eldest brother is anxious. The goat sacrifice works. Lomalay's mistake and death prediction has been cleansed. What a relief for Lomalay and his family. The ceremony can now go on. In the meantime, Shokon and his father wait for the soothsayer's final report on his reading. Shokon can do no wrong, but Lomalay's mistakes make him thoughtful. They now step into the middle of the elders' sacred Kirkit circle and strip naked. It's time to be cleansed with the dead camel's stomach contents. The undigested grass symbolically washes away their childhood and transforms them into men. They are guided by the elders. The dried slime is rubbed off. Every part of the dead animal is utilized in this ceremony. Nothing gets wasted. The sacrificial animals are thrown into a communal bonfire, where they be roasted to perfection and served to the elders. Shokon presents the prime cut of meat for approval by the senior elder. He's happy with it, so the ceremony can go on. And Giratang, the sick man, is here, recovered from his eye infection. His Kikatat healing ceremony was successful after all. Lomalay's older brother delivers the goat head to his mother, who is cooking with the other women.
mosar perta suta akal kunya ko tananyu ko katanyu ko pugen ay ko nanu sera awa gana gite nguna wala
The ceremony is heating up. Everyone wants to give thanks to the camels, petting their heads, blessing them with oil. The men enter the Pokot circle and dance counterclockwise. Led by Low Malay's benefactor, Chief Joshua, Ngoli waits patiently for Chief Joshua's meeting to begin, while his son is granted his first clay cap of manhood. Clay from a riverbank is used and plastered directly onto the hair. If all goes well, Shokon and Low Malay's caps will be painted blue tomorrow. Visitors arrive, and with them they bring tidings and news to the elders and Chief Joshua. It's time for Chief Joshua to speak his mind. Low Malay and Shokon listen and learn. It's their first time to sit with the elders in the Pokot circle. A little bit later, the team dance scene has started. Girls and boys join hands for the Ayopo dance. Shokon looks around for the girl he loves and wants to marry. While Low Malay checks out his dance partners, it's a chance for them both to scout for potential brides. The day is almost over. Both Low Malay and Shokon carry milk to be blended with the leftover blood. As a closing ritual for the day, all the men drink it together as a gesture of Pokot tribal unity. The next morning, Low Malay's mother is preparing the leftover camel parts, including the head. But the elders are dissatisfied. Lomalay's mother has made a grave mistake. She roasted the camel's head instead of boiling it. And now, as a fine, Lomalay has to kill another goat. There's been nothing but problems for Lomalay, and an enormous cost in goats for his poor family. He now waits for the elders to see if they're finally satisfied. It's agreed. The boys can both graduate. The elders give their final blessings and the last ritual can begin. Lomalay and Shokon's skull caps are now painted blue, the colour of manhood. They'll wear them with pride for up to a month at a time. All initiated men have the right to wear skull caps, and the more senior the man, the more elaborate the decorations. The ceremony is drawing to a close. Life and every step on the path to manhood has been difficult for Lomalay. But perhaps now, his and his family's luck will turn around. It will take 20 cows and 40 goats for a bride price. Lomalay knows it may take time before he can afford to get married. Shokon's life has been privileged and his Sapana trouble-free. But the future may not be so easy. They both like that idea. The final touch of a white feather is added to make their caps complete. And finally they're men, ready to face the uncertain future with their heads held high. Lomalay was bitten by a poisonous snake 2 days after his Sapana, just as the intestine reading predicted. He got medical help with the money he made from the film, and because of that, he survived.